Hey everybody, hi, it is Joel for week 7, our final week with these pups. This will be our last pup date for the spring 2025 litter. And it's kind of bittersweet when we get to this point. You know, breeding our dogs is, almost a 5 to 6 month process in its entirety. And we really started planning for this litter back in January. So it's kind of bittersweet when we get to the end of it. We've spent a lot of time with these pups one-on-one, but they are all going to wonderful home. So we're glad for all of you. Wanted to let you know that Dr. Megan, our mobile vet, was here today. She is absolutely wonderful. If any of the pups were staying in Grand Junction, we would absolutely recommend her to anyone. She's been really good to us and the pups. And all of our dogs, actually. And she came by and gave everybody a complete exam today. So we checked out eyes and ears and teeth and just everything that you could look at for a pup. They also got their first set of vaccinations. Everybody will get a complete record for their health, their weights, and any immunizations that they've been given up to this point. But Dr. Megan said that they are all good to go. So everybody will be A-OK to go home this Sunday. We did get final weights on everybody. The pups outgrew our scale, and Blue Puppy is the biggest boy at 16.96 pounds, and Hot Pink will be the littlest girl, leaving us at 12.6 pounds. Now, we did have a little surprise for you here in the last week, and like I mentioned, it's bittersweet to see these pups leave us, but we did want to give you a little show of the last 8 weeks that we've had with them since they were born till I think some of the photos at the end you're going to see are just like 24 hours old. So full grown, 8 weeks old, ready to start their new adventure in life. The song that you're going to hear, I've taken up some AI songwriting, and so this song is something that I put together. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll just shut up and play the video.
Out in the barn where the hay bales lie, a mama dog cares for pups with a tear in her eye.
Her little ones are tumbling, tails all away. Soon they'll be leaving with a new name tag.
Little Paws on the porch, tiny hearts full of dreams. New homes are waiting where the porch light beams, but the barn still echoes their playful cries. Little Paws on the porch waving goodbye.
The youngest one trips on his floppy brown ears. The oldest one growls like he's faced all his fears.
They don't know yet what's beyond our gate. Just warm arms waiting, they don't want to be late.
Mama sniffs each nose, one last goodbye. A soft whimper escapes as the cars roll by.
Little Paws on the porch, tiny hearts full of dreams. New homes are waiting where the porch light beams, but the barn still echoes their playful cries. Little Paws on the porch waving goodbye. Will they find a boy who throws a stick hearts full of dreams.
New homes are waiting where the porch light beams.
But the barn still echoes their playful cries. Little paws on the porch waving goodbye. Little paws on the porch waving goodbye.
Okay, I hope everybody enjoyed that little video and the last 8 weeks of the puppies' lives with us done in 3 minutes and 22 seconds. So the one thing that I wanted to make sure everybody left us with in this last pup date is topic of pet insurance. We get a lot of questions about pet insurance, and I will tell you from a pet owner and a breeder perspective, we do recommend it, especially for puppies. Can't tell you how many of our puppies have left us and somebody has called us and said the puppy ate a battery, or the puppy, chewed a lamp cord and got a shock, or had something happen, accident or injury related, and they didn't have the pet insurance, and it's cost them quite a bit of money. Even our own pets, Gunner, who's not part of our breeding program, but when he was a puppy, he swallowed a couple magnets, and those had to be surgically removed. Ginger, when we first got her and she was a puppy, got into a very large Costco-sized can of macadamia nuts and had to be in the hospital for 3 days. I did not know that macadamia nuts were actually toxic to dogs, and they are. So we are glad we had the pet insurance, and we do recommend it. So we get nothing out of recommending. We're not affiliated with any of these companies, so I want to make that clear. The insurance companies we're going to talk about, we've tried and had policies with every single one of them. Some of them we've had claims with, some of them we have not. So I'll tell you if we recommend them or not. But in general, I do recommend that you get some kind of puppy insurance. If you register your pet with the AKC when you get home, that's actually one of the things that we ask you to do when you leave. You get a free 30 days of coverage for just about anything through the AKC at no cost, and that will give you coverage, immediately, and then about a month or so to evaluate your own policy. So let's start there with the AKC website, which I'm on right now. We just insured our dogs with the AKC, or our breeding dogs, because the AKC is one of the only pet insurance companies that offers services for breeding or complications from breeding. And so sometimes that can get expensive. So we have our females with the AKC. The premium is a little bit higher, but that's to be expected because we're covering more things. So I can't tell you our claim experience with the AKC because we haven't had a claim yet. The premium is slightly higher for breeding coverage, if anybody's going to be getting into that. For non-breeding animals, they were also a little bit higher than some of the others that we have been with in the past. But for our females, we're going to keep them with the AKC. The next one I wanted to talk about is Healthy Paws. We had our dogs insured with Healthy Paws for a while. Nobody that I know of but the AKC offers breeding coverage. So any of the other companies we talk about are strictly for accident and illness. And I would suggest, going to their websites and checking out their plans. Obviously, just like people, the older the dog, the higher the premium. Insuring them now as puppies is fairly inexpensive. I don't want to say cheap. Nothing is cheap these days, but is fairly inexpensive when you consider the amount of coverage that you get. We really liked Healthy Paws. We had good experiences with them. We had good claims experience with them. The only reason we left Healthy Paws is I felt like every year their premiums went up significantly compared to some of the other companies that we're going to mention or talk about. And it was strictly a cost savings move for us to leave Healthy Paws, but we like them. We like their customer service, and we never had a problem with them. Trupanion. Trupanion is the next one I want to talk about. You may see a lot of advertisements for Trupanion. inside your vet's office. As far as I know, Trupanion is the only one that will work directly with the vet, kind of like human insurance or when you go to the doctor. So when you go for an exam, the doctor will bill the insurance company and you pay some kind of copay at the doctor's office, and then the doctor waits for payment from the insurance company. Trupanion is the only one that operates in that way, and the other insurance companies that we're mentioning here, you pay the bill at your vet's office, you submit the claim to them online, and then they reimburse you according to your policy. Some are faster than others. But Trupanion, again, we had one claim with them. And the one thing I didn't like about Trupanion is, and I don't know if it's still this way, but when we had them, after a certain period of time, I believe it was 6 months, you could never change your deductible for that animal. So if your financial condition changed where you wanted a higher deductible or a lower deductible, they would not let you change the policy. You had to cancel the policy and then go back through a waiting period again just to make a change in coverage. Didn't care for that. But as far as a premium perspective, the premiums were okay. They were in line with everybody else. But if I'm working with your vet, or your vet's office is important to you and you don't want to have to pay a big bill out of pocket, I would take a look at Trupanion. All right, Pets Best. Pets Best is who our non-breeding animals are with. Again, we like them. We did leave them for a short period of time just because, again, rate increases. Everything is getting expensive these days. I will tell you who we went to next. But again, from a claims perspective, Pets Best has been really, really good. Let me just talk about who we left to, and I'll come back to Pets Best. So we left Pets Best in 2025 for our non-breeding females to go try Lemonade. Heard a lot about them and wanted to give them a try, and their premiums were a lot less, right? We were able to save some money with Lemonade. We did have a claim with Lemonade, and the amount of hoops that they made us jump through in terms of providing documentation and doctor's notes and everything else, I just thought was over the top. So we canceled our policies with Lemonade and went back to Pets Best. Pets Best can be a little slow to reimburse, but they tell you that up front. I mean, they tell you when you submit a claim, they tell you that they give you an estimated payment date, and that can be 4 to 6 weeks out. So again, depending upon your own financial situation, if that works for your timeline. But the one thing about Pets Best is they would take the doctor bill, the doctor's notes, and then they would pay the claim pretty quickly. It wasn't a lot of back and forth of send us this, give us that name, what other doctors, as your pup seen or anything like that. When we had the claim with Lemonade, it was just so much back and forth. It was very, very frustrating. But I think we're going to stay with Pets Best now. So again, our breeding females are with the AKC for the breeding coverage, and then everybody else that's not breeding or is retired is with Pets Best. So I hope that helps. Hope it gives you guys some guidance. I recommend everybody check them out. Those are the ones that we've used in the past. There's lots of them out there. There are discounts available, by the way. So my college alumni association, I was able to get a discount. There's multi-pet discounts, so if you're going to insure more than one pet. So again, take your time and evaluate it. But if I had to put a number on it, I'd say about 25% of the pups that have left us have needed some type of emergency service, not from a genetic condition or anything like that, but either from an injury or something that they've gotten into that they needed to get, emergency attention, and there was an expensive vet bill along with it. And then the owners would come back and say, oh, I wish we'd have listened to you and got the pet insurance. So again, we're not affiliated with any of these companies. This is just from our personal experience, and I hope you guys find that helpful. All right, thanks so much, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody this week when you come pick up your pups.